Good morning, Tom's River, Ocean County, New Jersey, and all of America. I'm Dr. Barbara Schneider here live today on Radio Free America. It is Saturday, December 7th, 2024. We have a great show for you today. As always, I'd like to thank Dr. Michael Kashmar for the use of this studio, which is like really high tech. Jeremy sitting across from me.
Hey guys.
And also Dr. Gabriel Jasper for sponsoring me on WOBM, which the invisible Paul, the man behind the curtain, runs beautifully.
Paul is great. He works constantly every weekend to make sure our shows go up on WOBM. He's and you know what? Happy holidays, Paul. I know you're listening.
So, as always, I want to start by plugging the local businesses. Okay, the small businesses are the backbone of the U.S. economy. They have been under siege, but hopefully, with the results of the last election, they will rise again, and America will rise again. To begin, TSF disposal, dumpsters for your cleanouts, home sales are going to start coming up, even renovations are going to start coming up. You're going to need a dumpster for the junk. Let me tell you, the amount of junk you have is unbelievable. I'm looking around and I can't wait to throw out more and more and more junk just to.
It's liberating.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, your possessions shouldn't own you.
That's it.
So TSF disposal, you can get a dumpster online. You can call. It has a 5-star rating. The service is great, and the prices are very, very good.
Yeah.
C&G Country Cafe, 2 locations. Tom's River Heating and Air Conditioning. That's the Petty family. They're local. Please patronize them.
Yeah.
For your beauty needs, Frank and Maria's on Fisher Boulevard, Salon Allure on Route 37, and Harmony Salon.
Those girls tune in every weekend to hear us, and
Well-
everybody in the shop is listening to Radio Free America. Yeah.
Well, without their help, I can't get here. I look like a hag. Okay.
Stop it.
So it's when you look good, you feel good.
Sure.
It's good for your body, your mind. Go splurge. Go get something done. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and now the farms in New Jersey.
Morning, Liz.
Now, we know now, at least a lot of the stuff is coming out, that the powers that be have been poisoning us for years with chemicals in our food.
Mm.
It is more, and even in our meat, our cattle, our chickens, our pigs, our, other poultry. So it pays to go out there and buy from the local farms. Those are antibiotic free. They are drug free. It's clean. You can buy in bulk. You can buy individually. We have Silverton Farms right here in Tom's River. That's Big Tom Niveson's farm. There's Sugar Maple Jerseys, Sickler Circle View Farm, Triple C Angus, Cherry Grove Farm, Clover Valley Farm, Hidden Creek Farm, Farm on the Point, and Springdale Farms in Cherry Hill. I have shopped at all of them. They're terrific. It's worth the trip. Make a day out of it. What you put in your body matters. Okay? So, as most of you know, and maybe we have some new people coming on board, on this show, we talk about medicine and politics. I'm a board-certified general surgeon, and I specialize in the treatment of diseases of the breast and breast cancer, okay? I also fix hernias. I'm a classically trained general surgeon. I just don't do all general surgery anymore because I don't want to.
Yeah.
Been there,
Done
that. Yes, trauma, South Bronx, the whole bit. So And the reason for this podcast is because medicine and politics have become intertwined. The powers that be control medicine and control the young doctors. Most doctors who come out of medical school, who aren't trained the way I was, take jobs, and they need their jobs. They have bills and mortgages, and they do what they're told. There's no clinical judgment anymore. They get a checklist. They follow the checklist. And if it works, fabulous. And if you're an outlier, oops.
Mm.
And the problem is people are not robots. Medicine is not an exact science. There's an art to it, and the art has been more or less eliminated for financial reasons. And I'm going to get more into that today. So, what's going on? We won the election.
Yes, we did.
We have a chance.
We kicked ass.
We don't have a guarantee. It was a landslide, and it gives us a chance. But we cannot drop our vigilance because the left is waiting to sabotage them. The left is a religion without a God. Their purpose is your annihilation. They don't want to have a discussion. They don't want to negotiate. They want to destroy you. And we cannot allow that to happen. And as for the rhinos who are going to try and fight Trump, they too must be squashed. Donald Trump was given a mandate by the American people. The Democrats don't care because they don't care about you. Donald Trump cares about what the people think. And if you're on Twitter or X, it's called now, they have polls all the time. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? They ask the people, what do you want? And since this is a majority rule thing, it doesn't matter what the left wing wants to poison us with. So the left is still, now that the screaming and the crying has stopped, they cannot believe that they lost. And they lost so badly. The only places Kamala or Kamalalala won were places without voter ID. And because of the landslide, you know that the 2020 election was stolen also. But that's, ancient history. We're going to move on. We're going to make America great again. So what they're trying to do now is sabotage Trump and his appointees and everything like that. I mean, it's the same old playbook. And Joe Biden, in a possibly lucid moment, which is coming more infrequently, said, he'd oversee a smooth transition. And so the first thing he's going to do is...
he says, hey, Donald, I'm going to leave you a gift in the Oval Office. You'll get a bang out of it. And he's got the big red button that says WWIII.
World War III.
Yeah.
So that the Dems are the party of war and upheaval and chaos. That's what they accuse Republicans of. That's not true. They're getting kickbacks on all these donations to Ukraine and everything else like that. And the Dems are like closing ranks to sabotage everything that Trump is doing, which is far out in the open.
I still feel like they're scrambling because that was a humiliating loss. And then when Kamala went on the air looking drunk, and that should have told a lot of Mrs. and Mrs. America sitting at their TV that are Democrats seeing Kamala Harris's post-election speech. That should have opened their eyes a bit. Come on.
Well, she went to a Thanksgiving dinner where she allegedly served people, and she was wearing a $62,000 necklace from Tiffany's.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
you know, inappropriate. You have homeless people there.
You're in debt by how much?
You haven't paid your campaign workers, and you're showing off the bling. I mean,
And she's also asking people to donate to her election.
yes, she thinks she's going to win in 28. So Biden, aside from trying to start World War III by giving Ukraine long-range missiles to shoot into Russia,
Yeah, that was stupid.
he's again trying to enact executive orders to subvert the upcoming Trump administration. Once again, he's trying to eliminate the student debt. Now, this is unconstitutional. We have a Supreme Court of the United States of America who has ruled that this elimination of student debt by executive order is unconstitutional. Joe Biden doesn't care. He's also trying to give a pass to federal workers who have not shown up for work for the last 4 years, and who knows where they are, that they continue to work remotely if they're working at all. And let's talk about the pardons. So, Lion Joe, I mean, and anybody who is at all surprised by this has been under a rock for a while.
I know. You could see it coming from a mile, couldn't you?
Not only pardoned his son, but he pardoned him back to 2014. And this is crucial because 2014 is when Hunter sat on the board of Burisma, and Joe threatened them that if they didn't remove the prime minister, they would U.S. would withhold aid. So in backing Hunter's pardon to 2014, Biden is really including himself in the pardon. Biden has committed treason over and over and over again. But as it turns out, if a Democrat breaks the law, it's okay. If a Republican breaks the law, they go to jail. So, and I have a little picture for you on that. So, here are the rules you have to obey. What happens when you break the rules? You get into jail.
Yeah, rules.
Rules the government has to obey. What happens when they break the rules?
Nothing. Bupkis.
So the fact that Biden has broken the law and betrayed this country and committed treason over and over and over again is an issue. So now Biden is considering pardons to people who have not yet been charged with a crime. I am not sure that that is constitutional, because what are you pardoning? The risk of being prosecuted? Like Liz Cheney and the January 6th committee farce, which was selective and all the records have somehow vanished. Liz Cheney is a criminal. She is, so is Adam Schiff. They lied. The fact that, and he wants to pardon Anthony Fauci for over 30 years of betraying our children and our population.
Now, is that going to be a blanket all the way 30 years back?
Well, we don't know. How do you pardon someone who hasn't been charged?
How do you pardon someone when you don't even know all the charges? You don't even know what this person really did.
What do you mean all the charges? There are no charges. He hasn't been charged
Well,
yet.
I mean, like
There are
all the things he did are allegations, and but like the things that Hunter did were evil. I mean, a lot of them were freaking evil, and his father doesn't see that.
Joe Biden pimped out his son and sold influence. And influence peddling in Washington is what makes it go round.
Yeah.
And that's why Trump's nominees are under such scrutiny, because they haven't been bought. They can't be bought.
They're straight up.
They're
Stand
straight,
up.
and the deep state establishment is terrified of them.
Mhm.
Absolutely terrified, because they don't have control over them.
Yeah.
So it's
Hi, Susan.
hi, good morning. So the thing is that if Hunter Biden was pardoned, then everybody from January 6th should be pardoned, carte blanche, let out of jail, all the sentences commuted. You got a guy who wasn't even there who got 20 years in jail. What was that about?
Oh, I don't know.
And
I don't know. Not for something that was bigger than 9/11. Mm-mm.
so, so how are we going to get any kind of justice? I think that Jill Biden should be charged with elder abuse, because she knew that her husband was a non compos mentis, that he was senile, incapable, and yet she participated in the farce.
I'd like
Not only
I'd like an investigation into her to see how much she had her fingers in the pies. You know, how much she affected things.
Oh, she was sitting in cabinet meetings because he was asleep.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, she should probably be criminally charged for the White House Christmas decorations. If anybody's seen them, I have never in my life seen anything that tasteless.
Oh my God.
At least we don't have fat people twerking all over the floor.
Right.
But I mean, the White House, I mean, thank God we've got a little class coming back to the White House, because Jill Biden, who is not a doctor, let me tell you something. It's a travesty,
Yeah.
an absolute travesty. So the lawfare, the cases against Trump, now they're all crying and saying, "Oh, Trump is going to go after us now because that's what we did to him." I'm not sure Trump has the time. But I do think that every judge who issued a ruling that was unconstitutional, every judge that denied a defendant his or her constitutional rights, any judge who made a ruling like illegals can vote should be asked to resign. Made to resign. Like that woman judge in Virginia that said non-citizens can be on the voter roll, get her out. Actually, you got some idiots on the Supreme Court who said hormone blockers are like taking an aspirin. That's the famous Sotomayor, who is an idiot and was never qualified to sit on the court. She should get out. And
Oh, it's a girl's name? I thought it was a guy.
Sotomayor?
Yeah.
No, she's an old lady.
Mm.
And then the new one, Ketanji Brown Jackson, who says that denying sex change surgery is the same as denying interracial marriage.
What?
She's another idiot. Get her out. She's the one who doesn't know what a woman is. All you got to do, honey, is look in your panties. I mean,
you know what? All of that stuff was so ridiculous. That's partially why we won the election, because America, you can F with them only so long. And eventually, even the ones that are following you are going to say bullshit.
Well, you still have some idiots who are diehard Kamala fans who think that women's rights will be eliminated, that think that it's the end of the world, that they have to leave America. If you feel you have to leave America, go. Go with God, but go. And the fact is, if you think that women's rights are going to be abridged in any way, then you're an idiot. You don't know the facts. You didn't take the time to educate yourself. You believe the mainstream media like Rachel Maddow and some of those other idiots. And this was probably the most important election of our lives.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going to be in the future. I mean, but for right now, for us, this was the only way to ensure the future of America. It's not a guarantee.
Yeah, we have hope though.
We have
Yeah.
hope. We don't have a guarantee, but that's what America's about, opportunity, not
Yeah.
a guarantee. And we have to, Trump has laid out his agenda, even though the mainstream media said he rambled, he did it.
Oh,
That's
give
a
me
crock.
break.
He has been extremely focused
That
on
dude does not
exactly
need a script
what he wants
at
to
all. Okay. You know who needed a script? Kamala, Joe Biden, Karine Jean-Pierre. She had that little binder in front of her. I mean, nobody could remember anything because the stories always change from one second to the next.
do. They are all an abomination. And the question is, um, yes, crazy idiots.
Yeah.
Who is minding the store? Actually, Sotomayor was approved by Obama, another winner, because she's a wise Latina woman.
Yeah.
She ain't wise, but she is Latina. And I love the Latin culture. I'm fluent in Spanish. I love it, but she's an idiot. And that's not racist. You can be, it doesn't matter where you were born. An idiot is an idiot, and you can't fix stupid. So the Alvin Bragg case in New York, which is still dragging on, because Alvin Bragg, who created a case of an expired misdemeanor and turned it into 34 felonies, wants to hold the case over for 4 years until after Donald Trump finishes his presidency. That needs to be dismissed.
That's like plotting and
Alvin
scheming.
Bragg needs to be disbarred, and so does Judge Juan Merchan, who should never have been on this case, who is deeply conflicted, who doesn't know the Constitution, and who is a biased piece of crap. So here's a picture of Alvin Bragg.
Okay, he's got in his hand, he's got a Trump hush money case. He's hiding it in the freezer. And he says it outlasted the statute of limitations and it'll keep for another 4 years.
It's old. Give it up.
Mm.
Give it up. They threw everything at Trump because of their fear of him winning. And their fear of him winning was that they would lose power and money. Well, guess what? They're going to lose power and money. They persecuted him, prosecuted him, raided his home with shoot to kill orders.
And came out shining.
They created phony lawsuits.
Yeah.
They shot him. They tried to kill him because they didn't want him to be president. And this is what they're starting to do to his nominees.
Unreal.
And we have to hold the fort. We have to hold the line. So RFK Jr., who I think very highly of, has been nominated to be head of the Department of Health and Human Services.
Have you seen the like tasteless impressions people have been doing, like SNL and all that, of how he speaks? Like, it's like disgusting.
Well, he has a congenital problem with his vocal cord,
Yeah.
which makes his voice quiver. And to make fun of someone with a
Affliction?
a birth affliction
Mhm.
is not what we do in the United States. There's
No.
nothing wrong with his mind. There's nothing wrong with his body. He just has a wobbly vocal cord.
But they want to walk away thinking they're the good people. They're the right
They
side.
project on us all of their evil. It's kind of like what the devil does.
Yeah.
And I've always said that this is the battle between good and evil and God and the devil.
Yeah.
And so healthcare in the United States, I want to segue over to healthcare now, which is, again, political, but To know how we got to this sorry state, we have to go back a little bit. So, healthcare in the United States is no longer about patient care or wellness. Doctors are trained to treat sickness and not promote wellness. And it is a result of efforts by some practitioners and professional associations to defeat their competitors, not by outperforming them in the marketplace, but by enacting laws to limit their ability to practice. Okay? In 1906, the AMA sought to reduce the supply of physicians in order to enrich its own members. And how did they do that? They commissioned the Carnegie Foundation to publish what was called the Flexner Report. And the Flexner Report came out with the recommendations to close many medical schools, to reduce the number of doctors, to exclude non-allopathic modalities. In other words, anything that was holistic or natural was not lucrative. So that was like wellness was eliminated. They decreased the number of schools for women and African Americans. What a surprise. They gave states the power to approve medical schools, and they tightened the licensing restrictions so that only their people could get licenses to practice medicine. That's not what the original intention was, but this was the AMA. I am not a member of the AMA.
Purposely.
Purposely.
Yeah.
And I have left the American College of Surgeons as well.
Have you really?
Yes, same reason.
Mm.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a travesty. So the FDA is virtually useless. The FDA is an organization that is funded by Big Pharma. As a matter of fact, the people who work for the FDA used to work for Big Pharma. When they leave the FDA, they go back to Big Pharma, and Big Pharma goes to the FDA. And as you know, incest is a game the whole family can play. So they are inherently corrupt. Years ago, there was a drug that came out for pain. It was produced by Merck. It was called Vioxx.
Mm.
And it was a pain med. And Merck paid the FDA to get approval. That's how drugs are approved. It's pay to play. The problem was that Vioxx was killing people. The FDA did nothing. After 55,000 deaths, Merck themselves withdrew the drug. And the FDA did nothing. And the FDA, there are useful drugs out there that could help people, and they're delayed approval by the FDA because they haven't been paid enough. That's why Trump had to pass that right to try law, because there may be lots of cures out there for certain diseases that the FDA won't approve because they're from smaller companies and they're not getting the big ticket bribes. So we have to remove those incentives so that we can have an honest drug repertoire for our people and patients. We probably need to abolish the FDA, the NIH, and the CDC. Another thing that is a big ticket item is fluoride in the water. This, as you know, started back in the 50s. All of us who are...
Oh, hold up. Fluoride? Maggie, if she was here, she'd be like, don't even get Jeremy started with fluoride.
It's poison.
Yes.
It does nothing for our children's teeth. It does not prevent tooth decay. And guess what? It's associated with a lower IQ in children.
Now, when I was in elementary school, okay, I may have told this story on the air like a long time ago, but when I was in elementary school, I think it was second or third grade, they used to have this guy come in, all right, and he would give you like little Dixie cups with fluoride in it, and you had to put it in your mouth and rinse it and all of that. And like years later, when I'm a grown up and I'm looking back, I'm thinking like, why was some stranger coming in giving us that and not at like a dentist or something? Then I did research and I found out like what you just said, that it doesn't do anything. It's proven not to do anything, but it's in our water supply. It's, and I wonder why, they experimented on children first.
They have systematically been harming our children for the last 30 to 40 years. So, guess what helps? Tooth decay and gingivitis and all that mouth stuff you want to. Vitamin D3. Vitamin D3. You don't need fluoride. You need vitamin D3. Wow.
Well, that's good to know.
So, moving on to Trump's nominees, Pete Hegseth for the Department of Defense. This is the hill to die on. Okay? This is the guy who must be confirmed. This is the guy the Dems and the rhinos don't want. This is the guy who's now being subjected to the character assassination that Trump was. Okay? Sexual harassment. When, where, police report doesn't exist. Soon they'll bring out someone from 6th grade who said he raped her. Can't remember where, when, what, etc., but that's coming next. He was drunk on the job. Never happened. All of these are anonymous complaints to sink the candidacy.
Deborah, wow. Yeah.
And you've got Joni Ernst out in Iowa who wants the job and she wants to tank his nomination. She should be replaced. This is the man Trump chose. This is the man who gets in. This is the hill to die on. Because if Trump folds on this one, it's over. This is the hill to die on.
Yeah.
He's got accommodations up the wazoo. Can you believe that some guy said, "Big deal, what's a Bronze Star? Do you have one?"
Right.
Do I have one?
I don't have one.
I would be hiding behind a rock. Are you kidding me? This guy's a warrior. And they didn't like his tattoo. Oh, give me a break. They didn't know what it meant. They're ignorant. It's the same playbook. You did something to Biden raped a woman in the hallway. Did anything happen? No, he's a Democrat. Rules for thee and not for me.
Yeah, well, what else are you going to do in the hallway? It's a bad joke.
Oh, okay. Now we got Tulsi Gabbard, a Russian asset. Where did that come from? You got that crazy broad Debbie Wasserman Schultz saying everybody knows she's a Russian asset. Where's your proof? Where's anything? Where's one communication? The people who make baseless allegations should be sued for libel and slander.
Yeah.
Enough. Take the gloves off. They had no hesitation. They have no hesitation about smearing Republicans and decent people. Take the gloves off and sue them and see how they like it. See how they like having to hire a lawyer, going bankrupt, doing all that stuff.
Yeah, but they think they're the decent people and we're the garbage.
Look at Rudy Giuliani. $148 million for the reputation of 2 poll workers who clearly participated in the theft of the election in 2020. And he's got no home, no income, no nothing, Mr. Mayor, because he defended a client and he told the truth. This is a travesty.
Yeah.
They did it to General Flynn. They set him up. A decorated war hero like that, and he lost his home, his savings, everything. Hopefully he'll be able to put it together again. But how do you do that to people? Answer, if you're a Democrat, you don't care. It's a religion without a God. Their aim is to annihilate you.
Here's a question. What's going to happen to all of the doctors that were crucified? Like your buddy, what's his name again?
Oh, Dr.
Latulip?
Latulip.
Yeah, Dr. Latulip. Like, what's going to happen to these guys? Are they going to be, is there going to be something that frees them because they were wrongfully accused of
Well, this is a great question.
medical mismanagement, you know?
There are a lot of doctors around who opposed the vaccine
Mm.
and who opposed a lot of the rules. Some of them got tagged, some did not. On this show, we opposed the vaccine, the mandates, the masks, everything from the get-go.
From the get-go, yeah.
I was very fortunate. I was only raided once by the governor, which is one of, it was really
That was so surreal, you know?
surreal.
The men in
intimidating,
black show up at your door.
Very
Yeah,
intimidating.
yeah.
And the fact is that I was right. And a lot of these people were right. Now, the choice for Surgeon General is coming under some scrutiny because at first she approved of the vaccine, and then when she learned more, she disapproved of it. But that's neither here nor there. The fact that anyone can mandate that you have to take a foreign substance into your body is obscene. It's a violation of your medical autonomy. And Biden and his administration broke the law over and over and over and over again. And unless he issues a whole crap load of pardons, we should get them.
Mm.
So the other day,
Well, we got Jeanette here, and she's
the shirt.
the shirt of the week. Oh, look at that. American Eagle, red, white, and blue, an American Shield, 1776, born free. Come on, you can't get more American than that, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So
You can wear that with pride anywhere, man.
I'm sure you all were holding your breath, but the Select Committee on COVID finally released its 2-year investigation on the pandemic. This came out a couple of days ago.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I got to hear this.
It's a long report, and I just want to hit the highlights.
Sure.
Well, the virus came from a lab leak in Wuhan, where they were conducting gain-of-function research at inadequate safety levels. No surprise. EcoHealth Alliance, under Dr. Peter Daszak,
Good one, Liz.
who's a bud of Fauci, funded the research. The NIH helped and fostered an environment that promoted evading federal record-keeping laws. This is sort of like the Pentagon can't pass an audit. You have the CDC, FDA, NIH, NIAID playing monopoly money without accountability. The WHO caved to pressure from the CCP and placed China's interests ahead of its international duties. So the head of the WHO, Ted, whatever his name is, he needs to resign, and maybe the WHO needs to be disbanded. Okay, if they're going to be corrupt, if they're going to be bought out, get rid of them, and the United States should not contribute any money to them. We also know masks and social distancing were totally made up.
You know, I was in my general practitioner because I'm just juggling up my medications and all that, and I'm standing there at the window and I'm looking down on the floor, and you got these worn 6 feet stand here please stickers still on the floors. They're like antiques now, the way they look, you know, how silly that was.
Well, Dr. Birx, remember the scarf lady?
Yeah.
She made the whole thing up. She thought it sounded great. She admitted it in an interview. No one picked up the ball. She has not been prosecuted. She harmed our country.
How do you tell people that germs don't travel? They just 6 feet apart, you're good.
The
They can't
ma-
go any further than that.
the masks caused more illness than anything else. And you couldn't get a single person with a mind to listen. I remember speaking at Lacey High School or Lacey Township School, and
Yeah,
the
it was
idiot
Lacey.
sitting on the panel said, "Well, your time is up." I said, "No, it's not. You're going to sit there and listen. This is important." And I didn't say, "You schmucks. You are harming the children that you're supposed to be protecting."
That's when we got labeled. What was that thing? Terrorists.
The domestic,
The domestic terrorism.
the lockdowns were harmful, ineffective, and irrelevant.
What they did to our kids, those lockdowns. I swear to God, I've said it from the start. Like we used to say baby boomers and all of that. The COVID kids.
I'm going to.
Oh, you are? Good, 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 good.
So there was an unconstitutional censorship of discussion and debate. You weren't allowed to ask why.
Yeah.
In the United States of America, you went to jail, you lost your medical license, you lost hospital privileges, you lost everything. The vaccine mandate caused more harm than good. It was a complete disregard of medical freedom. How do you tell someone that I'm going to inject something in your body? I don't know what the contents are. I don't know what the side effects are, but you have to do it. That is fascism, not
Yeah.
Donald Trump, them.
You know, I won't even get a flu shot because I'm afraid of what else might be in there.
Well, I don't think anybody should.
Yeah. No, because remember there was talk about mixing the two. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it was like a one-shot deal. My son called us from Harvard and said Harvard is dictating that they have to have the flu shot. And I made him go through all the paperwork to make sure exactly what was going into him. There's no way we're getting the Francine thing in him. Yeah, it's still affecting our kids. It's still, it's still a scare a little bit.
The issue of natural immunity was ignored, which is a basic scientific principle. But
Mhm.
they ignore scientific principles by saying there's more than two genders. I mean, they think we're idiots.
Which is crazy
So
because what's so popular? Those gender reveals. I was talking to Maggie because our cousin is pregnant and they want us to come to see the gender reveal, right? And I'm saying that like what about these other people when they, oh, so red is girl, blue is boy, is black non-binary, like it's stupid. Yet they it's all over YouTube, these gender reveals. It's crazy. It's just so the hypocrisy is like ridiculous.
yeah. The VAERS system for vaccine injury, it's a mess. It's incomplete. No one's doing anything. There's no compensation for injury or for refusing the shot. They destroyed people. They took away their rights and destroyed them in the United States of America. In the long term, children lost decades of academic progress. Suicide in girls aged 12 to 17 rose 51%. Randy Weingarten, the president of the American Federation of Teachers since 2008, was directly responsible for promoting school closures and mandatory school vaccine policies across the USA during COVID. She swayed and influenced and manipulated the CDC under the idiot Broad Walensky or whatever her name was,
Mm.
to exceed its authority by setting criteria for school reopenings. Basically, she made it so that teachers didn't have to work and still got their salary, and the children suffered.
And the teachers got so used to being home, they were actually fighting to stay home and do all of that.
So the report, the select committee report, says Weingarten's influence on the CDC policies led to widespread, substantial, and long-lasting damage to both United States children and the U.S. publication enterprise. The select committee, subcommittee, finds that Randy Weingarten should be held legally and financially liable for damages incurred by the U.S. children and their families consequent to the action of the American Federation of Teachers. That's the congressional finding. I guess that's another one Biden's going to have to pardon. And of course, low-income children and children from racial minorities suffered the most, because not only do they need the structure of school, for a lot of them, that school lunch is the one meal they get per day.
Right.
And with the inflation and the closure of school and everything like that, I mean, talk about racist. Biden was, is, and will always be a racist, and all of them harmed the children.
The little roaches that crawl up his leg.
Yeah.
Remember that?
And because of the school closures, we had a ton of mental and behavioral issues. At least 250,000 children never returned to school.
Wow,
And
that's amazing. I didn't even know that.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, according to this
Yeah, you like, because we don't
subcommittee,
know what's
select
going
session.
on elsewhere in the country. Some of these states are like, a country in and of itself. The rules that they go by, it's really nuts. 200,000 kids,
250,000 never
250.
went back to
It's
school.
just, oh my God.
So
That means like they're not getting social skills by being around other kids. That's going to deeply mentally affect these kids, and that's sickening.
and now you have a school system that is overloaded with illegal aliens who speak no English, who are infested with disease, who are getting benefits that our children aren't getting. And we need to address the issue.
Yeah.
And there has to be mass deportation and closure of the border.
Well, now we've got a competent border czar, somebody who's actually going to do somebody who's actually going to visit the border.
Right. Well, we have to make sure that Biden doesn't send the Air Force fleet out there to fly in all these illegals like he's been doing for 4 years.
Yeah.
Um,
Back in the States.
Just a little bit of an aside. I bet everybody's following 6 stocking. Yeah. I'm sure everybody's following the trial of Daniel Penny in New York. This is the young Marine who subdued a mentally ill, violent man who threatened to kill people, and was arrested and charged for manslaughter. I got to tell you, he should have a medal and not a trial.
Yeah.
And the fact is that this guy would have killed someone, and had Daniel Penny not done anything, we'd have an innocent dead person. But that's okay, right? That's okay. For us to defend ourselves is not okay. And what they're doing to this man is an abomination. So, speaking of the border,
we got Angie, Pro God and Freedom. She says, the people worried about separation of families during deportation made your grandma die alone in the hospital during COVID. That's so true. Yeah. You couldn't even be with my dad just died and I could not be with him. Okay. I I feel for these people so much because I am feeling a lot of stuff right now myself, and that was such a crime. And the disease was man made and focused toward these old people to lower our population counts, or at least China's population counts.
So other Trump policies, we need to dump the Green New Steel. Because,
Is that yours?
yes,
That's fantastic. Good for you.
drill, baby, drill. You can't start a wind turbine without a diesel engine. What do you think makes a diesel engine run? Diesel,
Diesel.
gas, and oil. And these people have no idea how things work,
No.
but they have opinions. And it's all about what they think and what they need. It reminds me of the I don't know if you remember in New York, they have the carriages and the horses and the buggies and everything like that. And there was a tremendous move to eliminate them. They said the horses were being mistreated. Not that any of them have ever seen a horse, really. And so I know a little bit about horses. And so,
You know quite a bit about horses.
well, yeah, but those horses have deluxe accommodations. I went to the stable.
Did you really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's brilliant. Let me hear this.
Beautiful stables, roomy. Their hoofies are taken care of. Their
Oh.
mouths are soft. They're given feed bags, and they love their jobs. Horses are very ethical animals. And
It's not like they leave a mess or anything. They got something to catch all that stuff when they're going.
well, everybody poops.
No, I know.
Is
But I'm searching for a reason why they wouldn't have the carriages if all that is true.
And if you take the
You know.
jobs away from those horses, they go to the meat mills.
Yeah, or the glue factory. Yeah.
So these people have no clue what they're talking about, but they're flapping their lips. Unless you know, shut up.
Right.
And they are incapable of shutting up when it means putting money in their pockets.
Do you realize when we in this country, when we order a Coke, we're drinking a Coke out of a plastic cup with a paper straw? I mean, that's how backwards they've made this country. That's absolutely insane. And I keep thinking, I'm like, wow, and the the lids are plastic and all of that, but we got paper straws. Hey.
There's no thought. There's just over-regulation. So when Trump comes in, he has to immediately renew the tax cuts, and rhinos have to sit back and shut up because Trump has a mandate from the American people. And then you have this DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, with Musk and Ramaswamy. So the Democrats
I'm so happy they're together.
are pooping in their pants.
Yeah.
Because they are going to eliminate all the waste that's going on. I mean, I was listening to this thing, there's a $400 million grant for the study of crabs. There's on and on and on and millions of dollars for ridiculous stuff. And you have over 90% of federal workers have not shown up for work since COVID. They're working allegedly from remote areas. Probably if they have to come in 5 days a week, more than half of them will quit. Some of them aren't even in the same town. But we have to show up to work. They have to show up to work. They've been milking the system. And Democrats are terrified because who knows how many kickbacks they get. They didn't go to Congress to serve the people. They went to Congress to get rich. And term limits are going to be next. And there's so much that needs to be cleaned up. And at least Trump has hit the ground running.
Yeah.
But his nominees have to be approved, starting with Hegseth. And as for the deportation, the mass deportation, that's a must.
Mm.
We don't even know how many people came through. A lot of them are criminals and gang members. They're from all over the world. They need to be rounded up and dropped over the Finnish wall. They got here, they can get home. It's not our problem.
Right.
Find your way home. And the fact is that these grandstanding mayors and governors saying that they will not participate or cooperate with ICE, they need to be arrested.
Mm.
Because nobody is above the law, right, Democrats?
Right.
So
Joe said something along those lines, didn't he? Yeah.
you break federal law, you go to jail. Okay, and then we take all the illegals out of your state because you're a jerk. So
No, oh, and Sheila mentioned the plastic again. Do you realize that the takeaway cups for coffee are lined in a thin layer of plastic? Did you know that? Paper. So you're thinking, oh, okay, this is biodegradable. No, it's plastic in there, man. They don't tell you this. It's crazy, but that's Biden forcing Green New Deals and all of that jazz. And he thought like a paper straw was going to make a freaking dent when we use plastic for everything.
So here is the federal worker.
Okay. Okay. So we got a squirrel with a cup of coffee, screaming, wearing a robe, and its hair is up on end. And the caption reads, "Work from home update. I've named my coffee machine coworker. We are having a meeting."
I mean, this is amazing that people are working remotely. Who knows what they're doing, getting paid. And with this Green New Deal, and this is
Okay, so then we've got who is that?
it's an old lady.
It's an old lady, and the caption reads, "What did the socialists use before candles? Electricity."
Yeah, because if the wind isn't blowing
Yeah,
and the green new stuff isn't happening, you're going to have to light a candle. We have to
Sure.
go back in time.
sure.
It's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
Well, they were. I remember Tucker Carlson doing a report about what all those changes were like in other countries where they're having like constant brownouts and blackouts and whatever you want to call them uh, with it, and that is what we were going to go towards if he kept sneaking in that Green New Deal from bill to bill, or it was ridiculous. Like if it doesn't pass the first time, you're just going to keep pushing it in or sneaking it in under all of this stuff and all these requests for like trillions of dollars. It's mental, man.
Well, the congressional bills are always 1, 2, 3,000 pages long,
Yeah.
and they have a day to approve it. You can't read 3,000 pages in one night, and that's where they slip in all these ridiculous crab studies and millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Teaching tribes about transgenderism. There was a section of money put aside for that in the millions. I mean, what? Our country is hurting. Our inflation. People can't buy food. We buy something. We spend like $300. Oh, it's just one bag of stuff.
So the Capitol was stormed by 13 transgender people yesterday
Was it?
who were protesting the bathroom rule. As you know, Congresswoman Mace proposed a bill that said no balls in my stalls. And it was upheld. Apparently, there's some new transgender person in the thing, and she'll have to use the men's bathroom because she has a penis. I don't care what she calls herself. She has a penis. Go use a urinal.
Right.
So there was a protest. I don't believe anybody was arrested and thrown into jail like the J6 people.
Because we're not crazy. Oh, no. You mean the trans, yeah.
That's okay if you're a radical.
Yeah.
If you're a Republican or a conservative, you go to jail.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking about like when we won the election, just how crazy these Democrats on YouTube were getting. And we don't do that stuff. We don't lose our minds. We're not crazy. I've been seeing videos where one woman had pepper spray, and she sees a guy who she didn't realize was like a police officer, and she's screaming at him because he's wearing a MAGA hat. And she's looking around as though everybody else should be on her side and how offensive and disgusting this man was. And she sprayed him with pepper spray. And and then accused him of being, harmful to her, and she's scared and she's frightened.
it's
You know,
funny, when I saw all those Kamalalala
uh,
signs, I felt like throwing eggs at them, but I didn't.
you don't.
No, this used to be America.
You know
and
why?
It will be again.
Because you were raised and we were raised. That's the difference, man. These people, they've bent the rules to meet their looniness.
The left is a religion.
Yeah.
They are only interested in your annihilation. That's it. There's no discourse, there's no talking, there's nothing. So we have to wait to see what's going to happen, how much harm Joe Biden is going to continue to do.
Merry Christmas, Barbara.
And we have to remember that the fight isn't over. And I just want to remind everybody, and I'll try to do some more work on this, but next year is our gubernatorial election in New Jersey, which almost flipped red, and may have it not, if not for the illegals voting. So we need Spadia in.
Yeah, I contacted my contacts in the radio because our show is on WOBM, and what was it, 1010 wins, or no, it's 100 101.5 is part of the company that we're a part of. So we're actually technically we're colleagues, although we use different studios. So I touched base with my contact, and we're going to form an email, and we're going to send it off to him to see if we can get him on our show so you guys can meet him and ask him questions.
Yeah, because he's common sense, conservative, pro New Jersey, really pro New Jersey. He is the epitome of New Jersey.
Good.
He's great. And the other stuff out there that say they're running for governor are just Murphy lookalikes. So with that, I would like to read you a couple of things before I end today. And again, thank you for listening. And I'm always there for you in Tom's River, 732-244-2060. But 2 readings for today.
Yes, Justin, it was Town Square Media. Yeah.
So the first one is a message for my children.
Oh.
When the day comes that there are no more tomorrows for me, one of my biggest regrets will be that I won't be by your side should you need me. My wish for you then will always be that your lives are long and healthy, and that you follow your dreams where they may lead you. When you look back and I am but a memory, I pray that you remember that you are always and always will be deeply loved by me.
That's beautiful.
And then for our beloved country from Chronicles, how to make America great again.
Oh.
If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Amen.
That's beautiful.
So,
You always bring the best ones, man.
with that, again, I'm Dr. Barbara Schneider. This is Radio Free America live, Saturday, December 7th, 2024. Remember, thank you, Shawnee. The fight continues. Don't let your guard down because they'll stab you in the back at the first chance they get.
Yeah, they will.
We need to fight for America, fight for our children, fight for our future. Okay, if there's any way I can help, you know where to get me. Thank you for your time. Have a great week. See you soon.
All right. For more information about Dr. Barbara Schneider and all the wonderful things we do talk about, please go see barb.com. And hope everybody is having a wonderful winter. Please continue to be safe, and we'll see you next time.